Hello, everyone, and welcome to the July 6th biweekly SIG ContribEx meeting. Just a general reminder for folks, these calls are recorded and will be posted sometime later on YouTube, and we abide by the CNCF Code of Conduct, which essentially boils down to please be excellent to each other. With that, if anyone is available to take notes, that'd be super appreciated. Josh, I think you have your name in there.
I'll be taking notes, but I'm on the bike, so that makes me a little slower to type. So please, other people chip in as well.
It is very much appreciated. With that, let's kick right into business. Office hours, I don't think we have any real status update on that. So just go ahead and kick over to community meeting, especially as Laura, I know you have to go.
Yes, unfortunately I will. So I left a couple notes in here, but there is some initial interest in new hosts, new blood. So yay, that's very exciting. We've had some folks in the contributors channel reach out saying they'd be interested in hosting or otherwise helping. So I'm going to be reaching out to them this week. However, I wanted to bring up, considering the current charter discussions that are going on for steering, I'm wondering if an experienced host should be hosting this upcoming community meeting, because I highly doubt that won't be talked about at the meeting.
Sorry,
so
I had a phone call.
Everybody.
What is that there?
Oh, sorry, the steering charter changes.
Yeah, if we're going to have that at the community meeting, then yes. Then we.
I'm thinking like an experienced host would be a really good idea for this one.
As well as additional co-hosts.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's going to be a very heated discussion.
Just as a general FYI, this is the topic, the primary topic of the community steering meeting this Thursday.
Oh, okay. Maybe it won't be
right
on the
before
community meeting then.
It's we moved it because it was on Monday, which is a holiday, to this Thursday.
What time?
1 moment. So tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. Central Time.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
is that on a calendar?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
It's on the big Kubernetes calendar.
All right, I got to figure out where it went.
Or if you join, the easiest way to get an invite is to join the steering public list.
There
if
you
you're
go.
on it already.
I'm going to do that right now.
We're just going to stick this on all three of my calendars just in case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was like the one big thing I wanted to bring up was also that's the same week. I think I have the right week. It's the same week as DevOps Day Seattle. I think I'm going to be online for it. I probably will be on just my laptop because I have to be in Seattle for that. But with that in mind, helping would be lovely. But if I can be the host, I figured I could easily pull that out as the host to manage grumpiness.
Let's see, the community meeting is set for the 21st, I believe. So we can keep it on the agenda. We will go for some experienced hosts. The clock for basically feedback on it will end on the 27th.
Okay.
So maybe by then, at least a lot of the other comments will at least be resolved. We'll see.
We'll see.
Let's see. Yeah, I do think it is still worthy to have on there.
Okay. I still have yet to curate the discussion topics. So far, no one's really flagged anything for me yet, so I'm going to have to go digging. But I figured that's going to likely be one of the topics people will want to talk about. So that's why I wanted to ask if anybody had any thoughts or comments on making sure this upcoming community meeting is not too divisive and productive is really what we want it to be. Productive is important.
Yeah. The big thing will just be, we will definitely want to have multiple moderators, multiple people essentially listed as co-hosts. And, you know, we can talk out of band about getting the crew together for that one.
Correct. And Noah, I'm still trying to find the public steering list. I should be a Google group, but I don't have it handy. So if someone does have it handy,
it is
is it just steering?
Steering at Kubernetes.io.
There we go. Okay, so I do have.
So if you go to Google
There's
Groups,
the link.
yep.
I just dropped the link in there. I'm going to join that before I forget. So yeah, thank you. I just wanted to bring that up because I know it's going to be a busy one.
Yep.
And my plan is that I am doing my best to be there and be the host, the primary one. But if folks want to help me manage, that'd be great.
Yep.
What you said, it was the 21st or
21st,
yeah.
10 a.m. Pacific.
I'll be in Seattle as well. I'll be out of town. So
You will also be in Seattle. Okay.
yeah.
What's happening in Seattle?
I'm going for a work thing. There's DevOps Days
I'm going for
Seattle as
DevOps Days
well.
Seattle.
So maybe I'll swing by DevOps Days Seattle and help you moderate side by side. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, so DevOps Days Seattle ends on Wednesday. So the question is just when my flight's going to be on Thursday. So that's really
okay.
I'm trying to move flights around to make sure that I will be in a place with internet.
Okay, so just put a note in here that we need to figure out moderators.
Yeah, I'll sign up for moderator. I think by that time of day, we should be either close to done or I can step away.
And then Jason also volunteered to help as a co-host.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Thank you. That was the big one. No other information unless people have questions about the community meeting.
Oh,
okay.
Where are you with the whole recommending topics thing? Because there were several moving parts to that, and I don't know what ended up happening.
It's no one's really commented a ton on the issue yet, so I still have that open. There was I have not gotten a chance to review the, what was it, labels?
Yeah, it was a technical issue with the label, wasn't there?
Yeah, I haven't gotten a chance to swing back and review that. I think I just wrote, thank you, this is really helpful, but I haven't actually left a review. So we're waiting on that. Right now, no one's responded to my thread call out asking for topics. I started scheduling Slack threads in contributors to try and encourage people to leave me topics, but nothing from that just yet. So right now it's mostly a go digging, bug people and hope that people are starting to catch on to the, we can bring things to it until we get the labels together. But go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, no worries. So I just wanted to give an update on the labels thing. So I created that PR. That sort of slipped off my radar. I saw that Bob and Christoph left a few comments there. So Christoph had had a point about following the necessary process, and Bob's suggestion was basically creating another issue template in K community, that is, would this label be used outside for topics outside K community? So I will respond back on that, on the issue that's sorry, it slipped off my radar, but I'll get back to it this week. Thanks.
Thank you. And I'm grabbing the link for that. 1 second. There it is. And I will drop the link to that issue in the agenda.
No, I just found the link.
Yep. I got it. Cool beans. Thanks, folks.
Yeah, we can continue to follow up on the thread. Okay. Any other community meeting related items? Okay. That takes us to summits. Honestly, I have not kicked off starting things yet. I've been a little busy, but I'm hoping to send out the doodle poll and all that other fun stuff relatively soon, by end of week, or I should say end of Monday at the latest. Any other questions regarding the contributor summit at this point in time? Okay. Mentoring. Let's see. I'm just going to. I don't think we have. Paris is not on the line. I know that the SIG app 6 CLI thing is going on. For group mentoring, I don't know what status.
Yeah. So we are planning to kick off on the mid of August. We have sent the calling for the mentoring in the SIG CL and SIG apps mailing list, and yeah, we are working on that. It is planning to kick off on the mid of August ish.
For now, we have around 6 to 7 members for each of the 6 as mentees, and by the end of July, the applications will be closed, and we're planning to kick off around in the mid of August, as Athava said. So that's the status of it.
I think you are not audible, Bob.
Sorry, I hit my hard mute button. That's good. That's pretty solid. We usually aim for 6 to 8 total. That's sort of in the middle. Then other mentoring update, at least regarding the shadow role for ContribEx leads. We are finishing. We plan to reach out to everyone that submitted, ideally by end of the week, but we will hopefully have some more updates on that one soon. Any other sort of questions, comments regarding mentoring? Okay, go over to community management. I think this is mostly the semi-related to the community meeting. I can't think of any other specific topics for this one right now. Does anyone else have any thoughts? Okay, we'll kick it over to marketing. Caslin could not be here, but she I don't know who dropped the note in there.
So I have dropped it here. So basically, the comms has been sent for the engine survey, and at present we are doing the tweets regarding the annual survey, the help wanted section. The tweets are going out, and there were few backlog tweets on the Kubernetes release cycle 1.24 feature blogs. So that were also out this week. So that's the update.
Cool, thank you. Does anyone else have any questions, comments regarding marketing?
Yeah, I'm just curious, where do we have to look out for the buffer approval, apart from the Kubernetes issue, Kubernetes funding issue?
It's basically been greenlit by the CNCF. The big thing that we have to find out right now is actually like how like the CNCF has greenlit paying for it. But how do we add does Buffer support multiple people logging into the same account, or like
Yes.
a group account? Okay, because we basically need to set them as the billing manager is the main thing.
Who is them?
The LF.
Okay. Yeah. Last I checked, you can have up to like 5 accounts for free, I think, and then they start charging you, but let me double check.
Okay. As long as there can be an LF account where they are the billing manager, then it should be, pretty speedy. I have not looked at Buffer at all.
For the $10 a month thing, it is unlimited users.
There we go.
Done.
Yeah, they meter you on the number of tweets.
Yeah.
Instead.
Per social channel, that kind of thing. Yeah. Which we'll never get. Yeah.
Cool. Yep. Then yeah, it's basically just kicking off, creating the account, and getting the LF in there as the billing entity. If anyone in particular wants to from the marketing team wants to kick that off, we can also start that continue that discussion in Slack if we want to go that route.
Yeah, we can talk in the contributor comms Slack.
Abhishek?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Actually, I am new in this community in Kubernetes and contributing to the Kubernetes docs in the ContribEx section. Can anyone give me an idea about what this meeting about? Like, I attended this particular weekly meet first time.
This is the biweekly SIG ContribEx meeting. We basically do a read out and update on a lot of our sub projects, and have some general broader discussions on things that impact ContribEx or the project as a whole. You can see, drop a link to our notes here. But right now we were basically discussing an issue regarding our contributor comms subproject and their access to an account for Buffer and how that's going to get essentially paid for.
Okay, and one more thing that I want to mention here is I attended the monthly meet with Ray. So at that time, he assigned me to a PR rank list. But the person with whom I got Ray got connected me with is not replying. So what I have to do now?
So if you opened a PR, the easiest way to do it is to look at the other reviewers that are suggested, or to find the owner's file that is sort of the parent for the thing that you are opening a PR against, and finding some of the other reviewers and approvers there to reach out to. Usually the KCI bot will also suggest people for approval that you can ping.
Okay, thanks.
No problem. Okay. Any other questions, comments at this point on contributor comms? Okay. Contributor docs, I have no updates here.
I want to say that I'm going to be picking up with the non-code guide again in the next couple of weeks. The first time around, we did a whole lot of enumeration and listing, and this time I want to focus a lot on task identification, maybe see if we can possibly do some GitHub integration, how we can get people to actually find the tasks and roles as opposed to being as generic as we were last time.
I know there's a big discoverability issue for a lot of this stuff. Anything in GitHub is especially like docs, it's a huge pain to find, which is one of the big reasons why we try and surface as much as possible on the contributor site, which is actually much better indexed. There's also still an outstanding issue in the contributor site repo regarding rewriting the ingestion script. So just as a quick thing for other folks, a lot of the content on the contributor site is not actually hosted in the contributor site repo. It is hosted elsewhere in the project, and it is unfortunately, like Markdown, well, it is sort of a standard. It is not quite a standard. And so like the Hugo version of Markdown, which is what the contributor site uses, and the GitHub flavor of Markdown don't always align. And there's also issues with like links and a few other things. So there is this thing that I am both proud and terribly disgusted with, in that I wrote a bash kludgy thing that pulls all this stuff in and basically reformats everything correctly. And there has been an outstanding project to like rewrite it in Go or some other language that is a little bit more supportable, preferably one that actually can read the Markdown and like auto check links and things like that, instead of a bunch of regexes that I have.
Okay.
Yeah, I have questions. Go ahead, Josh.
Well, I was going to say, you know, one of the bits to simplify that task is to move content to the contributor site repo, so that we're pulling less. I mean, there's some things that we're always going to have to pull from elsewhere.
Yep.
But we could limit how much stuff we're pulling.
Yes.
Which would make it less difficult.
Yeah, I think there was I think we got consensus on moving the guide over, but there's a lot of other things that we potentially want to include that will not necessarily live in there. So like it's still I would say a general outstanding problem. The guide definitely I think should go over there.
Wait, is the contributor site on Netlify or GitHub? I forget.
Netlify.
Okay, so there's plugins for link checking and all that fun stuff, like you can just add right there in Netlify.
Well, the big thing is that like a lot of this is like breaking links that you know there's one issue that's as broken up, but like in how it's detected, but like how it fixes links is an issue, because it like because like if it exists in another repo, relative links and things like that will be different since it's now living in a new location. And if the content is not relative, it has to know to update the link to point towards actual location in GitHub. There's an issue in the contributor site which outlines a lot of these issues.
Yep. And can I just express my disappointment with the support for relative links in Hugo, or lack thereof?
It's constantly a Hugo problem, right? Like it's kind of the way you configure the site. It also plays into that decision making, and you don't realize that until much later.
Well,
on.
the fact that Hugo doesn't have keyword links is really crippling, because it means every time you move a directory, you have to update dozens of links.
It totally could, though.
You can do aliases, but that's it as far as I know. And the reason for a lot of this is to basically make it multi-language aware. So if you went for localization purposes and how that part works, like if I recall correctly. In any case, if anyone wants to like take on rewriting that terrible bash script in Go or something else, it is in that linked issue. So I think it's that issue. Yep. I need to find the notes again. Okay. Any other questions, comments regarding contributor docs? Okay. Moving over to GitHub Management. The one big update I have here is we did the call out for new member additional new member coordinators. I don't remember if that form has closed or not yet, but I believe several people applied, and we'll hopefully get going on that soon. New member coordinators essentially just help do all the due diligence when adding someone as an org member, like double checking that their sponsors are from different companies, that they're actually contributors to the project, and other things like that. But yeah, we'll hopefully have an update on that relatively soon. And I just saw the comment regarding going back to contributor docs.
Yeah, Pritish, you want to?
Yeah, Pritish, you want to try? Yeah.
Hey, hello. Am I audible?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I have assigned myself this particular issue where like the articles are publishing earlier than it's supposed to be published, and I just wanted to know like how is the publishing mechanism here in Hugo side?
It's Hugo.
Yeah.
Okay, like where can I find the like scheduling system? It must be under the hack directory, right?
No, there's no scheduling system. There is.
Yeah, it relies on Hugo that's hosted by Netlify.
So
none of the site code is ours.
Yeah. So the thing, there's a command in Hugo to publish, like when you have it build a site to build future. So that will basically just has to have that omitted so it knows to not build new docs. So that'd be like in the make file.
Okay, if I understood that correctly, like this issue is not related to code, right? Like the issue is not in the code or the Hugo site. It's with the Netlify something.
No, it's in the make file, which Hugo. So there's like build drafts, build futures, and in the make file. So basically, that just has to be updated to remove it.
Okay.
Or it's like, I'm pretty sure it's build future, but yeah, it just have to look at the Hugo commands and make sure the right one's removed.
Sure. Thank you.
Yep, no problem. Okay, back. Did anyone have any other questions on GitHub management? Okay, open discussion. Josh?
Yeah, so I have the work in progress PR for creating the election sub-project open. And there's two things I'm looking for that. One is I'm looking for a little feedback from the SIG before we finalize that. Because it adds some new things. I mean, obviously adds the election sub-project itself, adds the eventual service that we're going to offer preference elections as a service to the SIGs because we have the technology to do so. But it'll involve people in the SIG, right? Because SIGs will request one, and then somebody with permissions on the community repo needs to review and approve that. The other part of that is I'd like to hear from anybody who's interested in participating in the election sub-project, either on the policy or the technical side. So on the policy side, we're obviously going to be taking part of the current steering discussions. And if you look at the steering discussions, oh, okay, I need to get back to you soon, Bob, on that one, because deadlines might matter. On the steering discussions, those have flagged a number of areas that need further development, even after the current PR merges or whatever. And the election sub-project should be actively making recommendations and wordsmithing on that kind of thing. Second thing is we actually need to finish selecting the elections officers. We have 2 of them, and we need a third. And on the technical side, I'd like some other people, I need some other people who understand technically how Electo works, and can help support it and can help review elections that various SIGs want to run. The 2 election officers, so the way this works, by the way, is going to work with the election sub-project is the election sub-project will make a recommendation to the current steering committee, and then the current steering committee confirms or modifies the recommendation on who becomes the election officers, because ultimately deciding election officers is a power of the steering committee. And the current recommendations that we have are Noah Kantrowitz, who we need because he will be our only continuing election officer. And we need to have continuing ones from previous years. I've completely blanked on who the second one is. Sorry. It's been a rough week.
Names are hard anyway.
Yes.
So
Yeah. Dim's volunteered.
oh, cool.
Oh,
Who's a good candidate. And the qualifications are basically that the person needs to be a longtime trusted community member and org member, and entitled to vote. And for any of the new people we're picking, given what they know now, they have to be offering to basically do this for 2 years. I mean, we know that people's life circumstances change, but
Yeah.
we need at least 1 election officer to continue next year. And so if we're going to have 2 new election officers, we need to at least keep 1 of them. So we don't want to select one who says, well, I know I won't be able to do it next year. So because we don't want Noah doing it again next year, right? We're trying to not have anybody do more than 2 years in a row. And by the way, that's one of the tasks of the new election sub-project is to document all of this stuff. Because we have this set of agreed upon rules, but they're in bullet point notes form in a kind of shorthand, deep in an operational document. So that all needs to be surfaced in a clear way and eventually end up on the contributor site. So yeah, so there's a bunch to do with the election sub-project, even if you are never going to be an elections officer. The way that works is the election officers automatically become part of the sub-project, but on their selection as officers, if not sooner than that. But the idea of this is to have people who are on the sub-project who are working on election stuff for the project year round, who are not necessarily directly involved with the steering election. So if anybody's interested, so we have 1 interest there. And if anybody's interested, put it down, because I'd like to put your name on the initial sort of charter. And then we'll go from there based on the work that people can actually take on, because it's a sub-project, and the way you're a member is that you actually do things. Any questions? If not, please read over the WIP. The meat of it is the 2 readmes. There's a whole bunch of files being changed, but it's really just because I'm moving a lot of stuff that was in a bad file structure to the location it really should have always been in. But the 2 things that you actually care about are the 2 readmes. The readme directly under elections and then the readme under elections/teams. Because the elections/teams is the new sort of elections as a service. And so then, Bob, when are the COCC elections? Because I want to make sure that we're actually ready for them.
I don't remember the dates off the top of my head. I think it's in the Code of Conduct, Cocc Community DIR. But I know it is soon. As in supposed to kick off this month or early next month or something like that.
Okay, no, that's doable because we have to have this. I mean, all of this needs to be straightened out this month because we need the new elections officers to set a timeline by the end of the month.
Okay.
So the idea of this, by the way, I'm asking for feedback is I want to merge this work in progress before the end of the week. Because we need to choose the last election officer. The steering committee needs to approve that. The new election officers need to set a timeline, and that all needs to happen by August 1st. So we don't actually have a lot of time. And on top of which, there's a bunch of technical stuff to be done with our instance of Electo in parallel to that. Which, by the way, if somebody's interested in the technical side of the elections, would be thrilled to have someone shadow me on that, because for as long as we're running on a system where Arnaud and I are the only ones who understand how Electo works, we're always in danger of having availability problems. Yeah, and so part of that is with Electo, the call for nominations is supposed to work through Electo itself. So it sounds like we want to get that up as soon as possible so that we can accept nominations. Unless the nominations are private, are they?
No.
Okay. Oh, wait, here's the problem with the COCC election. Is the COC election itself public?
It's steering members only.
Right, but I'm saying only steering members can vote. Is everyone in the project allowed to see the actual election?
I don't remember.
Okay, that's important to answer because
I think this is all documented in the Code of Conduct, election docs.
Okay, so we need to follow up and figure that out, right? Because if it's not true that everyone in the project can see it, we can't do it in the same Electo instance. Because the way that Electo is designed is who can vote in election is restricted according to rules, but everyone in the world can see the election. Which is on purpose, right? It's what we want for steering. But it might not be what we want for a Code of Conduct committee. Previous question by technical side, I mean development of Electo. Actually, honestly, the first thing I mean is, so Electo works by GitOps, as in people push documents to the community repo, and those create election things in Electo. And so the first part of the technical is going to be making sure that when people do push those documents to the community repo, that they are in the right location and correctly formatted. Because the problem with GitOps is it's a kind of no railings activity. As in, if you push an incorrectly formatted document, either nothing will happen or you'll actually break that particular election. So that's the first thing. Later on, I would love to have additional people helping me develop Electo. Right now, Electo is a 3-person project, which means we could desperately use more because it's picking up usage. It's Python Flask, so easy to get started with from a project perspective. But the first thing is to make sure that Kubernetes packaging, because we're running it on our own Kubernetes instance. But the first thing is to just make sure our own use of Electo is actually operating correctly. So, Okay, so I will follow up with everybody who expressed interest on Slack.
Cool, thank you. Any other questions, comments regarding election stuff? Okay, any other open items to discuss? Then we can call it there and people can have 15 minutes of their time back. Thanks all. I'll see you around in Slack and see you in 2 weeks on this call.
Thanks, everybody.
Later.